Well, that was during the war. And I was there because I was a wireless operator with the RAF. That was my wartime job. And I had been sent to London for a further course. And we were stationed in a block of flats. I and the other WAF with me were stationed in a block of flats called Court, which was in Thurlow Square. I and two other girls we were in our 20s, early 20s. We were stationed at the top of a block of flats. And we used to sit cross-legged on our bed in our pyjamas at night and talk. And of course, as you can expect, we got around to the question of God. Is there a God? Is there an afterlife? We debated it. And I agreed as with them that there was no such thing. But for the pleasure of debating, of arguing, I pretended to believe there was. One of the girls, I shall never forget her because of what happened. Maisie Collins, her name, and she had been given compassionate leave to go home every night because her brother had been reported missing over Berlin. He was a bomber pilot. Its rage started. She stopped going home. She stayed. And this one night, I don't know how it came about, but I suddenly felt I should get into the underground and go home to Edgware to see my mother. I don't know why I thought that. But I did. I stayed there. Went to see my mother. And that's what I did. I slept at home and I got up early and had breakfast with my mother and ran down the road to the station and got on the train and went back. Coming out of the underground at the same station, the South Kensington station, I heard a man who was selling newspapers there saying to one of his customers, "Yes, that's right, Thurlow Court. Got it last night, a direct hit." And I went running down Exhibition Street. And I went in and I said, "My name's Scott, I've been away without leave. I went home last night," and others said that you were lucky. Two completely opposing ideas of what I've been up to. And then I heard that Maisie Collins had not gone home that night. And so Maisie, actually, was downstairs in the orderly room in Thurlow Court. That was where the affairs of the station really went on. And she was with other girls down there in the basement. And apparently the blast from this bomb, it had come through the first stories and burst on the third floor. And the blast had come down the lift shaft and killed these girls. Eventually, we, the survivors from this affair, were taken up and put into the Science Museum. The RAF men had been there, they'd been turned out, and we had been put in their place. I was shown into a little place, an endroit at a dead end of a passage, in which there were two double bunks, iron double bunks, and said I was to stay there, make up my bed there, which I did. But suddenly, looking around, there was Maisie, who had been killed by the bomb, sitting on one of these double bunks. And I said, "Oh, Maisie, there you are you all right?" And she said, "Yes, you were right, we do go on." And I said, "Do you understand everything now?" And she said, "Yes, everything," with a very sweet smile. And she was not a smiling girl. She was rather sad looking, but she was looking really well and happy and in her uniform, looking exactly as she did in life. I just felt that I was talking to Maisie, and again, that's all. I didn't question any of it then. It just seemed normal and natural, and there was no sense of drama. I wasn't frightened in any way. Except that she looked happy.
So large as life, you just look like she would in normal life.
Just the same.
And not injured or anything?
No, nothing. And I told nobody for years except for my mother. I told her. And she said, as I knew she would, you were dreaming. Well, of course I dream like everybody else. I know what a dream is, but this was no dream. I mean, here I am, how many years later? 60 years later. Remember everything. I wish I could, but that's what I remember.